Season 1. Episode 16. Post-COVID-19, Part 1. Digital Transformation.
Hi, I'm Jim.
And I'm Hisham, and this is
The Quantumly Leaping Podcast.
We're here again at the Coronation Park. This time, you are facing
Lake Ontario. Production value.
Isn't it amazing? It doesn't look amazing from here.
It's right? There's lots of boats. There's a lot more people. I don't know if you can see there's a lot of people here on the grass.
Okay, we don't want to show people because we don't have their consent, but we're showing. I think there's a lot of blue there. There's a helicopter
going over us.
But that's one of the perks of having an episode outside, right?
Yes.
You feel the ambience.
Yes.
And it's summertime. It's July
2020.
It's amazing weather again.
Awesome weather we're having. Yes, it is.
And this is one of our light summer episodes again. So, as you know, we used to get this like 40 minutes episodes, 4 topics and all. So we wanted to make them a little bit short for you this summer, so you can listen to our episode and continue having fun.
Yes.
And
less serious, very light. That was a lot of the feedback we got. You guys were very serious, so we said we'll do it outside. We'll do it very light.
It's not about seriousness, I believe. It's about being a little lighter.
Let's be honest. We're very serious. We did some mental health. We did cryptocurrency. We did.
But people love those ones.
Oh, one of the highest listened and watched episodes.
People love those ones.
And we have a big surprise here happening soon, but I'm not allowed to say about it. So big surprise.
When it happens, we'll talk about it.
We're close.
Yes, but so without further ado, let's start with our first topic. And today, actually, we're talking about it's the first part of a group of episodes that talks about the world post COVID-19. So because we're now reopening and we're going to start into our phase 3, which is the last phase of reopening the economy. So we thought that we're going to have maybe we should talk about the business and the business transformation, because right now everybody is a little bit started to come back to business. We have our notes here as well. And so without further ado, let's delve into our first topic in business transformation, which is, okay, so it's a kind of a grim topic. It's about the businesses that failed completely or partially during COVID-19. And is this thing going to revive, or they're going to go on? Let's delve into this, because you know, there are a lot of small businesses here that closed.
A lot of
restaurants.
My neighborhood, bars closed. In my neighborhood, I live in a neighborhood called the Annex downtown. Bars closed. Businesses that were there for almost 15, 20 years closed. A business that was restaurants closed. I'm telling you, closed. Like not
dry
even
cleaner in my place. Gyms, you know, the small gyms, the ones that doesn't have like a chain.
Yeah. And I'm recently, so I have friends who work for the Microsoft Canada. It's closed all the stores in Canada and the US.
Microsoft. I mean, like
Microsoft Canada and the US. 200 stores gone. I have friends who work at 3 stores in Canada. David's Tea closed all their stores. Starbucks didn't close, but they're re-engineering their stores to only be
some of them closed.
Some of them closed, but some of them
because they're franchises. I mean, some of those franchisees couldn't actually pay the rent.
Yes,
couldn't actually pay
some of them some of them are only takeout now. So no sitting, just takeout.
Yeah, but that's because of the laws. But some of them couldn't even continue with takeouts because it was not actually paying.
Yeah. So I'm telling you. We talked the airline industry, completely decimated. What other industries? Oh man, we wrote a few here.
A lot. I mean, so let's. I mean, I don't think the idea is just talking about, but like Hudson Bays as well. Hudson Bay.
I have a friend who works at Hudson's Bay, and again,
one of their branches in Vancouver, Victoria.
Yeah.
That's 150 years.
Yeah.
And now it's closed. I mean, it doesn't matter what business we're talking about. I think the idea is it's not businesses I mean, a lot of people said when the pandemic started that it's going to be very bad for specifically small and medium businesses. But we're seeing big businesses falling down partially because of, and we talked about it in our last episode, because their whole economy is based on a lot of things that failed us.
Yes.
You know, a lot of standards that based us.
Yeah.
It was built on a 24 running machine.
Yeah, and then you'll hear about the last episode. But again, this post-COVID has realized that our economy is not going to look the same now.
Not forever.
The economy that I was involved in the gig economy for 5 years. I was doing movies, special events, decimated. I'm pleased to say that it looks like here in August, September, things will get started. I
But we lost the peak of the summer.
Yeah, we did. We lost the peak of summer. So it's gonna come back, but it's gonna be very slow.
And very different.
Very different. So we're into stage 3 here, maybe this week.
Like, I mean, even the events that's going to come back, most of them are doing hybrid.
Yes, hybrid. So like, yes, that's right. So we're doing an event, and Hashem are doing a media event in September. That's going to be a hybrid.
And it was always an in-person
event.
And it was a huge event back in the Metro Convention Center.
Yes.
It's a huge.
Yeah.
And there were people coming out for it, by the way. A lot of people coming from the United States, which I don't believe that by September the borders are going to be open and a lot of people are going to come from there.
I'm involved with TIFF here in Toronto International Film Festival.
That's
hybrid.
That's a universal.
Yeah, hybrid. They're going to do in person. They're going to do drive-in movies. So completely. I mean, the TIFF brings in thousands of people from all over the world. I've been involved with it for 3 years. So to see how this COVID has decimated not just our people, but the economy is unbelievable. I mean, books can be written about this, ladies and gentlemen. That's why we're glad we're doing this podcast, because we want to just share with you what has happened. If you listen to some of our early podcasts, you'll see what we discussed early in our first promo podcast we did. What was happening then. It's kind of eerie to watch it now, what was happening then.
Yeah, and by the way, one of our very highest watched episodes is the first one.
Yes.
We talked about life under
COVID.
Quarantine.
So we were using, this is about our third episode we've done in person. So we used Microsoft Teams and we're doing them online because we had scheduled to do them in a studio, ladies and gentlemen. But the studio closed, which was
everything
closed.
Was closed.
So we were thinking, are we going to wait? So I'm glad, therefore, that we didn't, because almost 18 episodes in, and we've had hundreds of listens, hundreds of watches, and I'm grateful. I appreciate that, ladies and gentlemen, who's ever watching and listening to this. But it has been something that I will never forget. How this has affected everybody, no matter where you are in the economy of ladder, you could say. Everybody has affected, no matter where you are.
Even governments.
Even governments.
Even governments who are. I mean, we're not talking about the government businesses like Service Ontario, for example. They had to close for a while.
Yes.
And Service Ontario, a lot of things that they do helps like other businesses. Like when you get your for example, your driver's license. That doesn't come directly from that has to be printed by a third party and they send it all to you. But when the government is closed, that also affects those kinds of businesses because the government is closed.
We never realized how incumbent our economy was on certain systems that are out there, and now we're facing new challenges on what's going to come back and open up again. How is, I do a lot of work in the movie industry. How is that going to look? It's going to be interesting. The gig economy, how's that going to look? They're asking me on a side note here to do these online, tests, these to say that you understand. Bring a kit with you. We have to supply our own masks, our own sanitizer. I was telling Sasham this. I'm actually doing a video. Here's my sanitizer. Here's my fork and knife. Remember that fork and knife? Here's my own thing that we got to bring ourselves. And we're not joking. You got to bring all these.
I know. I mean, like even for us in the office businesses, they're telling us, but if you have that lunch break or anything like that, eat at your own desk. you cannot. There was no food. We were used to have a small area like a kitchen, and sometimes some people come and sit together and eat, and say like, no, not again.
No.
And so you have to do so. All of this type of transformation.
Yeah.
Not to mention the biggest one, which is work from home.
Yes.
Right. The work from home. People did not used to get that. And now,
how many stories? How much time do you have? Oh my God, how many stories I have about work from home? Oh my goodness.
Well,
okay, let me tell you. In the beginning, it was like, yeah, work from home. Okay, some of my friends. Then became, whoa, maybe this is not such a good idea, because I'm not going to name names, but I can tell you that my friends were not happy right now, because now they keep an eye on them. What are they doing? How much money? How often are they spending? Some of them are getting recorded. You heard me right. Recorded in front of their computers. I'm not kidding you. Two other people plus somebody that I know told me this. It is now becoming as if in their office they want to see, timetables. What are they doing?
Exactly.
So it's not exactly as fun working from home anymore.
Exactly, but this is actually the topic of our second topic. Is that how? Okay, so there's a lot of.
We skipped the second. Oh, sorry.
No. This is because we were delving into
okay.
This is the second topic,
okay.
but
notes.
The thing is, a lot of for decades you hear about business transformation, and a lot of people tell you, oh, it's the 21st century, it's a new age, we need to transform our business, but you didn't see any of that happening for at least a decade, and then overnight.
Literally overnight. Literally.
It was literally overnight. I remember the last time when it's March 12th or something.
Yeah.
When it was a Friday, and they told us, keep your eyes on your emails, because there might be some changes on for COVID-19. We left at 5 o'clock, and then I was working for a project with the government, so I was actually going there to their offices.
Yes.
And they told us, just keep an eye on that. We left at 5 o'clock, 8 p.m.
That day.
That same day.
I remember this, you were telling me.
Yeah, 8 p.m. sending us an email on a Friday, which is, everybody says TGIF, but that was not a TGIF kind of a thing, because it was the Friday that brought us all of this. And then they tell us, because of COVID-19, do not come back on Monday. You're going to be working from home. I mean, that was, of course, a long email, but that's
the gist of it.
The gist of it.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay.
And the thing is, Hisham is, the little funny thing is, I don't know if he's talked about, I'll tell people, he doesn't like being at home. Just, that's who he is.
I always did say that.
Okay.
I'm not a home creature.
He's not a home creature. So for Hisham to be at home for 8 to 10 weeks was not going to be exciting, let's just say. So
I was like a caged animal, man. I was running around my small apartment saying, what the hell am I doing?
Oh my God.
But of course, the thing is, public safety was most important to me and to everybody, but it could be dangerous as well, by the way.
So this work from home shifted very quickly. I reached out to a few friends, and like I said, for me, I wasn't working, but a lot of projects I was involved with ended, like kaboshed. And it was like seeing, because I had a lot of things scheduled in March. I had mentioned in an early episode, and bang, 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 they felt like, and I was like, because I was on fire. I had a lot of things going on in March. I had the infomercial we shot for
and that was in February.
That was in February. So
February or the first week of March? I lost track of time.
But I had stuff going on too, and it was for me harder because I was involved in the gig economy. And the first 3 weeks I was a mess, and people like Hisham, other friends of mine stepped up. We were talking because I got on the phone and was calling people. But I'm telling you that, week 18 now, I feel better. I'm being proactive, but it was something I never wanted to go through again. And I hope that we do not go through a second wave and then get locked in again, because it's not fun. Yeah. It's not fun. Okay.
Yeah, but here's
I watched a couple of seasons of Game of Thrones, but that didn't last long. So that's a whole other discussion.
But here's the thing. I mean, like, that also has pushed the businesses who were talking about transformation for years to actually do it because it was not an option.
Little option, yeah.
And there was a lot of good stuff that happened, because we have to say also the good stuff.
Yes.
Like I saw also that was the rise of do-it-yourself kind of things.
Yeah.
A lot of people learned actually some extra technology.
So now we have there's a helicopter.
We have a helicopter.
We have a helicopter, orange. So people, became accustomed with Zoom. I did stuff on Microsoft Teams, which was the first time. We did Air Meet with that group in Seattle.
Yes.
What else? I used a thing called Hopin, a new thing called Hopin. So I got to use. What else did I do? Well, I did. I did a few.
Yeah, I want to also talk.
I was selling stuff online. Which I got really excited about.
Yeah, but I also want to talk about not just the thing that you learned, because even if you see that Rogers, which is like a cable company and internet provider, because they couldn't come to homes inside and risk their employees and risk the residents.
Yeah.
So now what they do is they come and they leave the stuff
drop it there
at your house at the time. You just pick it up and they FaceTime with you, I think, or they do something on it. It's like a video chat, and they tell you how to do it. That's like a do-it-yourself kind of a thing.
Yes.
They teach you how to do it, instead of them coming in and endangering themselves or anybody else at the household.
Like I said, the 21st century happened quick. It happened.
It's like we jumped from the past to the future.
So we did. So I'm gonna drop here a little commercial here. Boop, commercial is.
That's not a paid commercial.
Okay. We did 2 episodes on education. We did education, Canada, US, and then we did post-education. Please watch those, because we talked about how education got affected, and we're probably gonna do another episode, probably in September, maybe the year before season 1, probably, on what is actually happening. Maybe
because right now it's season 1.
Season 1. So maybe season 2, because there will be season 2. What it looks like, because now they're going looking into a hybrid version. It's a whole other 3 podcasts, I'm telling you. So, but again, what I'm really happy is that we did a couple of very tough podcasts, and now I've read they're getting watched, so I really appreciate it, or listened to. But again, it's evolving, and what we said probably will happen, but we want to give you updated information as to what happened in the States. It's a whole other anomaly in the States.
Yeah.
Universities want to go online and still charge the students the same amount of money, and they're going to court over that. So it's a whole other thing. So September is going to be a little. I have a couple of nephews. One nephew's going to school, and right now they're just taking school via an app. An app is teaching them everything. They're not sure if they're going to go back. He's 5 years old. You know?
I know. I mean, like,
so they're not sure.
They didn't even give like a complete yes or no answer forthcoming. They would say like, if it was okay, we'll come back. If not, we're ready for a different scenario.
And now in stage 3, just breaking news. Now in stage 3, now we're right now.
We're getting into it.
Now, some gyms are opening up. Some hair salons are opening up. Restaurants. I went to a restaurant today for lunch, and all the sitting area was closed. Ladies and gentlemen, I think I walked almost 2 kilometers to go to the back of the restaurant, which is used just for pickup and delivery, to put my order in. It was eerie. Yeah. It was eerie. It's a big Canadian restaurant, the Swiss Chalet. And it was crazy. The guy I was with, he was like, where are we walking? Oh, keep walking, Jim. How far are we walking? It's a very empty, everything was blocked off. So to see how businesses have changed, we go shopping, we go to Costco.
And besides, hygiene is now not an optional thing.
Now it's option. Now you cannot go to today. I went to a convenience store. I had a mask. A guy behind me, he had to go back to his car to get his mask. They will not serve you.
Hand sanitizers.
In an early episode,
company policy.
I teased Hisham about hand sanitizers when I first met him 4 years ago. Now, I am going like this time because I have 3 hand sanitizers with me, and they're going to go in a little museum. Hand sanitizers.
I know. Not
outside joking anymore.
I've been using that since 2003.
I know.
The first pandemic, and that was a lesson for us. But now it's became a company policy.
Yeah.
It's not just a personal option.
We're okay.
No, but the last thing I want to say is also about this is that also with that thing and work from home.
Yes.
The security became really an issue.
I'll let you deal with that.
Yeah, because everybody's working from home. On their own connections, you don't on their own machines sometimes, or their own phones, or anything like that.
Yeah.
And it raised that thing, and that was, you remember, that was always something I was nagging to you about. It's like, we don't have enough security in this country. We don't have enough security in this world.
And what happened?
Overnight, everybody.
Literally 2 weeks after it happened, one of the big companies, Zoom, huge breach.
Just a few days ago with a Twitter hack.
Oh, Twitter got hacked a few days ago. This is
for major accounts.
Major accounts.
Through Bitcoin.
Not our accounts, but
and now they're saying that there's also like hacks from the Russians and Chinese hackers into our researches on COVID-19.
I'm telling you,
stay away from us, or I'm gonna go after you.
On a serious note,
but it became like a big issue, and sadly it was not before.
Sadly, this is not a movie, ladies and gentlemen. This is real damn life.
Yeah.
And it's really when you watch it, like, we watch this on the news. I watch it on the news, and it really sets you back to see where were we, where are we now, where are we going, and this is why Quantum Leaping podcast was created, because we knew that. We didn't know, like, I could have predicted how this would go, but I'm grateful that we did do it, because we've covered some tough topics. And
we're going to continue.
And we continue to do it. And I think it's important that, I've told Hisham this, it's about educating, a little inspiring. And yes, we've done some tough topics. And I want to address this. Yes, we covered some tough topics. Mental health, we just did personal wealth, cryptocurrency. We did some tough topics. And I think it was hard. But that mental health, I'm grateful that we did it, because I lost our friends' mental health. And even now, some of the topics that we'll be speaking in the future are not going to be easy topics.
Yeah. And which I believe it's going to also tell, while we talked about also technology and security, it's going to take us to our next and last topic.
Yes.
Is also the rise of AI and the power of modeling.
Yes.
To not just to build and to show us what is happening, it's also to predict what is coming out and what's the need for business transformation. See, this is one of the things that I was always telling my clients, and AI is here. It's not going to go anywhere. Use it. And you hear everybody, we don't want to use AI, but they don't know what to do with it. And you start talking to them, they say, that's very expensive, or let's leave it. Now they're realizing that it would be much better if they used that thing before, because it's going to tell them what is the prediction. And everything that we're doing right now is based on those modelings and predictions, based on the information that we gave them. Like even how we reopen our economy is based on that models.
Yes.
And
I got involved in modeling literally a little by accident. I was doing some statistical outlays on sports teams in Toronto, for the Maple Leafs and the Raptors, and I was just keeping track of their records. So when the COVID hit, the season's end. So I addressed Hisham. I said, listen, how can I want to do a modeling on the wins and losses and what the projected records would have been. So Hisham says, do this, and I did. And it was kind of powerful. And then how important did modeling become in the news, in predicting how COVID would look? It was all about modeling.
Tracing. Contact tracing. We wouldn't have reached this point of controlling this evil virus if we have not used AI with the
forefront.
Tracing.
I think it became in the forefront of that. And we're going to be covering a lot more on this topic. We're doing this big event in September, big data and AI in September. We're so excited about that.
Yeah.
And
you should come.
So it's going to be a hybrid event.
Virtually or personally.
Yeah,
so it's going to be a hybrid.
We'll bring you some stuff from that, though, for sure. We're going to do on-the-ground coverage for sure. But at the end of the day, it's kind of interesting. For me, I wasn't into the AI, but I did this little project, and then it morphed in something kind of interesting. And now there's a course that I found recently. It's about 10 hours, and about I'm going to be starting in the next week or so. But what it is that these are new times for us. There's a new normal.
New challenges.
New challenges, new normal. And it's important that we get this information out to you, ladies and gentlemen, because there's a lot of misinformation. We even did an episode on that. Okay, we did some heavy episodes.
That was also one of the most watched episodes. I mean, like
Yes.
within the first few days,
Yes, it went viral. So, like I said, we've covered some good ones, and we wanted to kind of step back. But again, it's important to understand how this now has become the face of how we're dealing with this pandemic. So I'll throw it back to you.
Yeah, and you know, the thing that I want people to take out from this is that there was a lot of fear of AI because everybody sort of, when you talk about AI, and I talk about that I've done in TEDx.
Yes, watch it.
Yeah, it's
like
not about
3,000 views. 2,000 views.
Yeah, it's, I don't want to go about to watch it or not, but my topic is because the reason
May 2019, by the way.
May the 4th.
May the 4th.
May the 4th be with you.
2019, so you can find it.
Yeah, but this was like about more than a year ago, and the people, even when people came in, I'd say a lot of the people came in because they told me that, because they said, I am really scared of that S, you know, and I came here to understand it, and I didn't know what to expect, but a lot of them came out and say, like, I'm now less afraid, but I want to know so that we should be, you know, how did I say, prepared for that. We should know what is going on, and we should take that seriously. But it's happening, whether you're afraid of it or not, whether you see it as the Terminator or not, which is totally untrue. I mean, like, this is not going to happen for a long time, but it's important.
Yeah.
Your fear about something doesn't mean that you shouldn't use it,
right.
or doesn't mean that your view about it.
I just got that joke about Terminator, or or Minority Report. Minority Report. Westworld.
But actually, Westworld, I love that because it actually shows sometimes that people are the evil ones, not the robots. In some places, which is exactly what I'm saying. But here's the thing. There's a lot of goodness in people, and when we utilize that into AI, which we've shown all through this pandemic, all through that time, there's this website that you remember I sent you that shows you the whole numbers around the world, and how they are evolving and all of this thing, and that's all built on AI and modeling.
Yeah, I know.
And that's fantastic because you know where you are. It wasn't
a great map to watch in the beginning. Let me tell you, it was all red. It was all red. My God.
It's still red
it's
now.
Still red?
But you see, and you can compare the numbers, and you know that there are a lot of parts in the world that has actually put a control on it, and this is one of the sites that the whole world is watching, by the way, and where they're building their decisions on it. Like Europe, for example, they've decided they will open their borders for international traveling.
Okay.
And they've decided that Canada is one of the countries that we're going to open our borders with because they control the virus, and they're relying on websites like this, information that they all study, and the AI models that they have to help them decide, right? And for example, they're not opening with the United States, unfortunately, because of what's going on. But all of this data is based on those models.
Yeah. No, it's a powerful thing, and that's why I'm excited to kind of take this course and learn more about it. But at the end of the day, it's we've been thrust into the 21st century quicker than we thought, and to see what's happening, I tell you, on a personal level, to see how all of a sudden flipped to working from home, and I would work in the movie industry, which is going to be completely different now. We're going to have our own little boxes. We're not going to be allowed. Everyone has to mask. It's going to change every industry. You got to wear a mask.
And by the way, they're using right now. There's a lot of businesses that are using AI to predict like what's going to be the new costs. Because, for example, in our office, we have by law to provide hand sanitizers and even masks for people who come in without a mask or something like.
Okay.
You should. I mean, if a client comes in, you're not gonna tell them go out. They're bringing business, but you have to provide them with a mask.
Got it.
Costco, for example, that day I went with a friend of mine, and we were wearing our masks, but one of the clients came in without a mask, so they gave him one on the door. You cannot get in.
Yeah, without a mask.
That adds also to the cost.
Yes.
And And all of those businesses right now are using AI and modeling to predict, because that's an added cost. So that have to reflect maybe on the pricing, on the number of employees that they have to put in. Not to mention that they cannot even have the same number of customers because they have a maximum number to keep the distances.
Yes.
So that's going to also affect their selling income or all of that. So all of them, small, medium, large, they're using, and it's very easy, by the way. You can do these solutions over I don't know, Azure AI. You don't even have to be a coder. There are things that you can create, design by yourself visually. There are things on Amazon and Amazon Cloud. There's a lot. So get involved. If you're a small business, medium business, or whatever, if you don't know how to do it, there are a lot of startups who can help you with that for very cheap prices. It worth it to invest, because we don't know, and we said that many times in many episodes, we don't know when the second wave is coming, and if there's a shutdown that's gonna happen, and how tough is that shutdown gonna be. So we have to be prepared. So AI is gonna be, it's already a huge player now, but it's gonna be even a bigger player in the future, specifically with a second wave or whatever it is, or post COVID-19, the whole thing. So don't be afraid of AI. Invest in it. Look at the models that are being built. There's a lot of data sets now. There's by the way a data set for people with masks.
Oh yeah.
To recognize people with
Yeah.
masks. Yeah. And it was I shared that even on LinkedIn. It's like, oh my God,
Yeah.
this fast they
Yeah.
came up with it. Yeah, so
I'll look for a list.
There's a lot of innovations are happening there right now. So utilize it. It's there. It's free.
And I think at the end of the day, my last thing with this is that on a professional level, is that I never imagined, if you had told me a couple of years ago that Jim, you'd be kind of looking into modeling and doing AI.
What was that? Machine learning.
Machine learning. Oh yeah. Zach Lipton from Carnegie. Zach Lipton, Carnegie Mellon University. January, was it? I sat in the front row. I couldn't escape, and I made like 8 pages worth of notes, and they were good.
You wrote a blog about it as well.
I wrote a blog about it. I'm gonna do another bigger blog. But if a guy like me, who's, I consider myself getting smarter after I left college, but this course, I'm really fascinated to see, can I handle 10 hours of AI machine learning? Because it's some heavy stuff. But I'm gonna take my time. I'm gonna stop it. I'll watch 15 minutes. I'll stop it. And I watched some other videos that Hisham has sent me. There's a gentleman named Hassan Minaj, a very interesting gentleman. He's on a show on Netflix, and he inspired me on a few episodes we did. So this new normal has allowed us to evolve, and if we all can evolve and do something we enjoy, what's wrong with that? I know that I have to evolve in how I look at things, and part of doing this podcast is doing the work where we do have physical notes, we do notes online, because we want to make sure that we bring you the most, not the best information,
the most relevant
and most accurate. And these last 3 episodes have been a little lighter because we did some heavy episodes, and part of the complaints were, hey, you guys are funny. So don't worry, at the end of July, we're going to do a hilarious episode with some friends of mine here at the end of July. So we're excited about that, and in September have some more stuff. But for me, thanks everybody for watching. This has been or listening to this episode today, and I'll throw it back to you.
And I hope that you've enjoyed the
view of
Lake Ontario, and
nice.
this whole thing. This was the idea of it, is making this a letter for the people who are watching on YouTube.
Yes.
I mean, the people who are just listening, unfortunately.
Yeah. So we're at Coronation Park in downtown Toronto. You can find it on Google Maps. It's a big park here, and we're right in the middle of it. People here are still out talking with their dogs, skateboarding, cycling, and we're done. I'm Jim.
And I'm Hisham, and we still have a lot. So keep listening to us, watching us.
Yes.
Whatever you want. We also listen to you, and many of those topics are actually things that people ask from us. Some of them were actually in our plans, but people told us, are you going to do something about it? It's in our plan. Some of them were like, if you talk about this topic, then do this or mention this and mention that. So a lot of these are inspired by you guys.
They were.
We keep
and a professional. I mean, I tell you, these topics were very. I mean, I had this thing about the rabbit hole. When we went down the rabbit hole, and we had to kind of climb out of the rabbit hole, because I had this picture I showed Hisham of a zombie rabbit. And I was like, we
have hovering shoes, so we were just getting
we were kind of getting up a rabbit. I know it's kind of a stark example, but I'm glad that we have it, and I think that the numbers are exploding for a lot of the episodes we did, and I really appreciate that. People who are watching, people who are listening from all over the world. Quantum Immunity Podcast is coming to you again very soon. Thank you.
Yeah. So have a great day, night, whenever you're watching this episode.
Yes.
And bye.
Bye-bye.
We'll see you next episode.
Take care.